See, if you go to the railway station or if you go to the airport, which counter to go to check in? Wherever there is less queue. That's what you're saying. No, I get it. But I'm saying, what you do in this world, whether you are a doctor, an engineer, a politician or this or that, will not determine or change the quality of your life. It is about how you do it, the context. It is never the content of life which determines the quality of your life, it's always the context of life. People may be living in palace, kings have been miserable and committed suicide many times. Poorest people have lived joyfully, because it's the context of life, it's not the content of life. So what you're asking in terms of path is content. Shift that to context. What should be the context of my life? All right, but how to get there is the question. So happiness is something that everybody wants. When we say happiness, suppose I offer you ecstasy, will you reject it? No. So you're settling for a mediocre desire. Why I'm saying this is, because when you were 5 years of age, you were quite happy. Yes or no? You were bursting with happiness actually. By the time you became 30, you should have become ecstatic if natural process of life happened to you. But for some reason it got reversed. When you were happy, somebody had to make you unhappy. By the time you were 30, somebody has to make you happy. You have reversed the equation of life. This has happened simply because without paying any attention as to how this one functions, we're trying to drive this. Do you agree with me that this human mechanism is the most sophisticated gadget on the planet? Do you agree with me? Yes. Better than your iPhone? Yes, the eye is better than the iPhone, isn't it? No, I knew the brand you're carrying, that's why. Now, if this is the most sophisticated gadget, have you even read the user's manual? Now, to learn how to use a phone, you read the user's manual. Such a sophisticated gadget, no attention, somehow doing it. If you somehow do it, what will happen? It will somehow work. If you want it to work in a precise manner, the way you want it, then you have to approach it in a certain way. Unfortunately, this is what is missing in modern times. We know how to do everything in the world, but we don't know how to do this. But your experience of life here on this planet is determined by how you are right now within yourself. The clothes that you wear, the car that you parked outside, the home that you live in, what kind it is does not determine the quality of your life. This moment, how joyful you are, how blissful you are, is the quality of your life, isn't it so? But this attention is not there because we think by fixing the world, everything will be okay. Well, in India we still need to fix a lot of things, that's different, but Western world, they've fixed it more than they can fix it. If you fix it anymore, there will be no planet left. To that extent we have fixed it, but still people are not well. Over 40% of United States population at some point in their life are on some kind of psychiatric medication. What this means is nearly half the population will go mad if you just withdraw a few pharmaceutical formulations in the marketplace. If you just take away these formulations, nearly half the population will go crazy. Do you call this well-being? The richest nation on the planet? And we are aspiring to go there. That's not a place to go for 1.25 billion people. Yes, because first of all, it's not practical, because the Living Earth statistics says, if you have to provide the kind of comfort and convenience an average American enjoys on a daily basis to 7 billion people, which is the population of the world, you need 4.5 planets. but you have only half a planet left. One half has been eaten already, only half left. And how will you provide this to everybody? This type of lifestyle, this type of governance, this type of economy is an inheritance from imperialist times, when they always believed that a small part of the population will live well, rest will be exploited. That was the intention with which these models were formed. We are continuing the same models, this is not going to work. If we are interested in everybody's well-being, we need to rethink the whole thing in the outside world. So let's leave what we have to do outside. Outside has to be sensibly conducted, that's a different matter. But what is the context of your life? The word yoga means this. You know, it's been said and repeated too often, Yogasth Kuru Karmani. What this means is, establish yourself in yoga and then act, everything will be okay. You don't need morals, you don't need ethics, you don't need values, you don't need anything. Just establish yourself in yoga, then act. Oh, so if I sit in one asana, everything will be okay in my life? No. When we say yoga, the word yoga means union. That means you are no more an individual, you have experienced a dimension beyond your individuality. How can that be? See, today it's a well-known scientific fact that what you call as an individual is this boundary, isn't it, of your body and your physical stature. It is a well-known thing that approximately once in 2.5 years, all the atoms in your body have changed. You don't even have the same body. Every 2 years you have a new body. How can you even claim this is mine? This is all… it is going all the time. 52% of your body happens to be bacteria. How can you claim it is mine? Your bacteria are yours. 90% of the DNA in this body is not even human. How can you say this is me? So now, what you're calling as myself, let's do a simple experiment. Just take your right hand and touch your left hand. Is this you? Is this you? Yes? Yes. Touch the chair on which you're sitting, is this you? No? How do you know this? Just sensations, isn't it? Here you have sensation, here no sensation. Or in other words, what are you saying? Whatever is in the boundary of my sensation is me. Whatever is outside the boundary of my sensation is not me. Right now there is some water here. Is this you? If you drink it, it becomes you. Yes, every day you're doing the act, isn't it? What is not you has become you. Why? Simply because you included it in the boundaries of your sensation. Whatever is within the boundaries of your sensation is you. Now, if you do simply as much as rub your hands quickly and hold it like this, you will see something will be happening between your hands. This is what you're supposed to do first thing in the morning in India, that you must rub your hands and do this just to give you an experience of that you are not limited to your sensory body. You just woken up, you might have lost your awareness, to bring it back. First thing is to rub it like this. Just do this and hold it. Suddenly something is happening between the two hands, because the sensory body, with any vigorous or intense energy process, the sensory body will expand. Suppose you're sitting here, I can teach you a simple method with which your sensory body, let's say, became as big as this hall. Now suddenly, all these people who are sitting in this hall are a part of you, like the water that you drank, like the 5 fingers of your hand. Like that if you experience all these people, after that, do I have to teach you morality? Don't harm this person, don't rob this person, don't kill this person, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Would you need this teaching? Would you need any morality, I'm asking? What you experience as myself, with that, you don't need any value, any morality, any ethic, you're perfectly fine. This is the fundamental dharma, Yogasth Kuru Karmani. That means first establish yourself in the nature of life, because the nature of life is in union. You're not happening here separately. As you sit here, what you exhale, the trees are inhaling, what the trees exhale, you're inhaling. Half your lungs are hanging up on the tree. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, isn't it so? So, your experience of individuality is essentially because you're very identified with your physical body. So that's why I'm telling you, this is 52% bacteria, I'm sure that part you don't want to identify. 90% you're not even human, I'm sure you don't want to identify with that. And every 2 years it's changing, so you don't know what the hell you are. So there is no point identifying with the physical process because this is just a piece of this planet that you picked up. Before you and me came here, countless number of people lived on this planet. Where are they? They're all topsoil. This will also become topsoil soon, unless they choose to bury you real deep, your friends, fearing that you may rise from the dead. You know, in some places there is such reputation. So that's why in India, we want to make sure once they're dead, they're never again coming back. So we burn them, take the ashes, throw it in 3 separate places so that they don't come together and somehow pop up again on us. Once they're dead, they must be dead. Very wise culture, you know. So, what you're calling as myself right now is just an accumulation of things. What you call as your body is something that you accumulated over a period of time by eating food, isn't it? What you call as my mind, the content of your mind is essentially an accumulation of impressions. So, what you gather, at the most you can claim it's mine. You cannot say it's me, isn't it? As I'm sitting here, suddenly I take this vessel and say, this is my vessel. What will you think? Sadhguru's got some problem. But let us listen some more because people say he's wise, and you sit for some more time. Then after some time I said, this is me. Then you will say, let's go. Because if I claim this vessel is me, obviously madness has set in, isn't it? Yes or no? Every day you're doing this. Food appears on your plate, you say, this is my food, you eat it and then you say, it's me. Yes, every day. Your only comfort is, everybody around you is in the same state. But just because everybody around you is in the same state, it doesn't release you from suffering. When I say suffering, this is simple. If you follow the laws which govern this, you can go without suffering. If you do not understand the laws, you trip at every point. This is not that somebody is punishing you. It is just that if I do not understand the law of gravity and I just try to walk off the stage, I will pay a price. It doesn't matter who I am, isn't it? It doesn't matter how big a yogi you think I am, but if I walk off this, something will happen, isn't it? Yes or no? Because this is the law. If you go like this, you will fall. Similarly with inner nature, with subjectivity, there are laws. If you do not understand that, if you do not go by that, then you will pay a price. All human suffering is just this. There are only 2 kinds of suffering: mental suffering, physical suffering. Yes? Unless you have an ailment or you've been in a war zone, how much physical suffering has happened to you in the last 25 years? Nothing much, nobody has caused anything to you. If at all, if physical suffering, most people suffer indigestion. Okay. Some people are suffering, unfortunately, hunger, some people indigestion. Otherwise, no physical suffering has really happened to you. So largely it is mental suffering. Mental suffering means your own mind is beginning to work against you. That means your mind is not taking instructions from you. If your mind does not take instructions from you, medically also you qualify for madness. Yes. Just the comfort is everybody is in the same state. But just imagine, I want you to just imagine this. If I ask this question to anybody in the world, hardly there are a handful of people. How many people can say they have even spent one single 24-hour segment, that is one single day in their life, without a moment of anxiety, fear, tension, stress, nothing, simply blissed out? How many? Hardly any. See, if one day does not happen the way you want it, it's understandable. Not even one day happen the way you want it. This means something fundamentally it's off, you're off the rails, isn't it? If not a single day happened the way you want it, something is fundamentally off the rails. One fundamental thing is just this, what you have gathered, you believe is you. The moment you think you are this vessel, if I just do this to the vessel, it hurts. To hurt you, we don't have to hurt you physically. Something that you identify with, if you just knock on it, it hurts you, isn't it? Yes or no? If I break your house, your heart will break. Because so much identification has happened. The fundamental thing is this, you believe yourself to be something that you are not. Once you believe yourself to be something that you are not, insanity has begun. In what form it finds expression, how much provocation happens in your life, will decide how far you will go. So the first and foremost thing in yoga is, if you sit here, if you know what is you, what is not you, what is accumulation and what is not accumulation, if this much awareness enters your life, now you know what to do. If you experience everybody here as a part of yourself, you will not have to be told how to act in the world, isn't it? You know how to act in the world.